ॐ मीरारविन्दाय विद्महे अतिमानसाय धीमहि तन्नो ज्योतिः प्रचोदयात्। आनन्दमयं जगदिदं सर्वं परब्रह्मणामवर्तितं मायापि परब्रह्म प्रशान्तस्य शान्तरूपिणम् वसुदेवं सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् Yes, please. Can someone recollect what is it that we saw last? We can form the link and move ahead. Yes, please. Anybody? Anything that you can recollect from the last session?
Uh,
Yes. Yes,
we
Sitaji.
spoke about surrender, convert the pain into ananda.
Ji.
Flow of the sun, reflections of sun, the same supreme consciousness also flows as sun reflections flow in the same manner. Prakriti, we spoke about Prakriti.
Ji.
This is a force of uh, connected part of Supreme Purusha. That is executive power of the divine.
Yes.
Prakriti is executive power of the divine. In Mother and Sri Aurobindo, Mother says, without him I exist not, without me he is unmanifest. So I
Ah,
think this is suitable to this Prakriti
yes.
and Purusha relation.
Yes. Yes.
And then
Yes.
Prakriti, if it is in a inverted form, it becomes Vikriti. If you are able to overcome that Vikriti, then it becomes Samskriti. That is what somebody was
Tarunji
telling.
had beautifully added
Yeah.
these three words.
Mm.
Yes.
And then
Ji.
in the Bhagavad Gita 15th chapter, we have discussed about first 5, 6 slokas, where it was talking about the Ashwatha tree. So, where the people tree, how it is inverted, the roots are to the supreme consciousness towards, and then the leaves and twigs and leaves are coming down. If you are able to really understand the concept of that, then if you are able to convert our consciousness from Satchit Ananda, then it would be a path for us to lead from this uh, the worldly consciousness to the supreme consciousness. Somewhere in that manner, uh, I could perceive
Okay.
something.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
here, Ananda is attachment, Nirananda is the that particular condition of Nirananda. If we develop a detachment through that, then again we
No, Jay,
attain
actually,
Ananda.
that Ananda and Nirananda is not actually attachment and detachment, though. Means
Mhm.
what you have, everything is perfect. And just one portion like the asakta sangena dhrudena chitva, asanga shastrena dhrudena chitva is
Drudena
said in the
Chitva.
Gita. Yes, meaning
Yeah.
this
Mm.
asanga is detachment in English, but we can say getting free. Means
Yeah.
unless you realize your freedom, you will be
Mm.
bound. I mean, this realization must be
Yeah.
like a Anubhuti and Atma Sakshatkar. When you become free,
Okay.
you are in a state of Ananda. But when you
Mm.
are not free, you are in a state of Nirananda. So,
Okay.
means you said everything
Mm.
right. Just I think the Ananda part is the realization that you are free. Meaning, I may be in the midst of so many activities. Suppose
Mm.
100 or 10 works are going on in what time? But I'm very disturbed in the mind. That means I am now trapped in the maya of those works, and that will not allow me
Yeah.
to execute my works properly, nor will I get the rasa or the ananda of what is that karya or the kruti.
Yeah.
No?
Sure. Yeah.
So we will have
Mm.
to, but I think yes, ma'am, that was everything
Mm.
was perfectly said. Anything you wish to add further, Ji? Yes, ma'am. Do
That
you want
is,
to add
at the
anything?
end, we spoke about Sat Chit Ananda. That is
Yeah.
truth, that is the consciousness, truth consciousness. This consciousness is the zenith, which leads to Ananda. So Sat Chit Ananda. Truth,
Ji.
truth
Okay.
consciousness, and then which leads to the zenith, that is Ananda.
Yes, yes. The Trinity of Sat, Chit, Ananda. It is
Mm.
nice. We can even
Mm.
meditate on those three words. And we see that Om Tat Sat, that is how Sri Aurobindo is
Yeah.
beginning
Mm.
in the Gita. Om Tat Sat is like a mantra, triple mantra. Some people say it is the Diksha of Krishna for the world. Maybe you don't have a guru, you have not got Guru's Diksha. Hold on to Krishna and receive these three mantras. Om is allowing you
Yeah.
to connect with that sound, with the Nada Brahma, the sound of creation. Tat is allowing you to directly connect or visualize with the Brahman. And it is, and who can deny us from trying to understand from our own way? Nobody. A child
Yeah.
can describe the sun, isn't it? Without really
Yeah.
fully requiring some authorization. It is something like
Yeah.
that. So tat, with that we can try to say this Brahman. What is this Brahman? And the beautiful aspect is this Brahman's understanding may be different for every single one of us, depending on our consciousness. But still, it is the same consciousness which is present inside of everybody. That is how, means in the part of the, in the last moment that we saw, that a portion of the Brahman enters into this world and it splits as Jiva. That Jiva is there inside of everyone. So Om in the Stat and Sat. Sat is that goodness, that inherent goodness, that virtue, that beautiful thing in the world which is not going to get polluted. So with Sat, I think we all have certain memories which are very special. They are a source of light, they are a source of happiness. Even the smaran of that memory gives us joy, isn't it? It could be anything. It could be just maybe even having a coffee with a friend, or it could be word of some elder. It could be anything. Somebody remembers their mother, and that itself gives. Somebody remembers a moment which is divine, some special experience. Or somebody just likes the company of nature, and oh, that time I had gone and I enjoyed that 2 moments. These are all moments when what they call the psychic being comes to the fore, our inner Chaitya Purush. So that Sat is that other part of the mantra, the third part, Om, Tat, and Sat. So when all three are understood and focused upon, then we can connect with that higher consciousness. Probably that is why Sri Aurobindo also started with Om Tat Sat. Now, after that, this aspect of the Jiva is present. Where is he present? Inside all of us. And what is the state of the Jiva? He's like the big boss, always in Ananda. We are not in Ananda. We go through life's different cycles. We go through happiness, pain, and Krishna tells in the Gita, Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. All four. Birth, death, old age, disease. Nobody likes old age. Nobody likes disease. Nobody likes death. Sometimes people don't like birth also. But whatever it is, these four created difficulties so many times. But a yogi is someone who's able to see it with balance. Inside, the jiva is experiencing everything as ananda. Because at that state, means the part of creation, the origin of creation is being implied here that that consciousness, there was a descent of consciousness from that highest Brahmic consciousness. So as that descended into the mortal dream, that is where the differentiation took place. Why did differentiation take place? Maybe because integration has to take place later. Viyog took place, that is separation, so that yoga is possible. It is like a beautiful cycle. There is a pattern, there is a system, there is a thing which is already written, and a lot of things are happening as per a design. A conscious moment is taking place. So that is why the divine is in the Ananda. When I was in college, I had come across a quote. It was attributed to the Buddha. It was said in that quote, when you realize how perfect everything is, you will tilt your head and laugh at the sky. The first time I read it, I was scratching. What nonsense? Why will only somebody whose mind is not proper only will look at the sky and laugh? But many, many years later, I thought maybe somebody has understood in all the chaos, there is an orderliness. What appears like what's going to happen? There's nothing. Well, there is some orderliness, and this is there even in the Gita. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharat abhyuthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srujamyaham. Meaning that aspect, that chaos also is a requirement, a necessary condition for manifestation. Sri Aurobindo had described the four powers of the mother, Maheshwari. Then after that, it was Mahakali, then Mahalakshmi, and then Mahasaraswati. So Mahakali was breaking barriers, destroying things. Somebody will not like this kind of action of the divine. But all of this is a divine orderliness. And so that is what the jiva is conscious of already. Because of that, the jiva is in a state of ananda. Sant Tukaram had reached that state. That's why he said, Anandachi dohi ananda taranga. Everything is ananda. Everything is just ananda only in that consciousness. But but when that descent into this bhuloka takes place, there is differentiation. So that is why we experience what we call individual consciousness. I am different. I am different. I am unique. My experience is completely different from everybody. Now, what is the meaning of uniqueness? Nobody should be like that. That is unique, isn't it? But everybody, when everybody is feeling unique, then that uniqueness also ceases to be a novelty, isn't it? Because it is a common. So this aspect we don't realize. That is why we enter into state of nirvana. We feel I am alone. We feel we are alone. What is this? But the jiva is in the ananda, participating in all of these games. Somebody has written that the first meaning of the prayers at the start. Maybe can we look at it in the end? Is it? Can we look at the meaning later on? One is a very common prayer. The other ones are just my own compositions, so they are not really prayers, just an invocation. Yes, Ji?
Yes, that would be fine. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. So, all right. So now, if you see this aspect of jiva is introduced, and this concept of pain, and somebody also beautifully quoted the words of the mother. Convert, one second. Yeah. So the words of the mother about converting pain into ananda. I mean, it was Sri Aurobindo also who talked about this, that yes, this possibility is there. How, what, we'll have to probably see that. But what is the source of Nirananda? That is very beautifully covered in the next moment. Before we enter into the next moment, let us look at some more verses of this of the Gita, especially the 13th adhyay. Because what we saw, who has the choice to become weak? Anybody? Who can,
Who is already strong.
yeah, who is strong, isn't it? Somebody who is strong. It was like I told my father right in the second year of college that I want to stop playing badminton because that time I thought I'm going to become only a badminton player. That was I didn't know why I was doing engineering to become a badminton player then. But when I told that to him, he said, "Ah, you are retiring before your career started." That was his question. So somebody who has a career can retire, isn't it? Not somebody who has not started. It's something like that. Strength. Who can feel weak? Somebody who knows what strength is. So the supreme, all conscious, all powerful, almighty has consciously chosen to become weak. Weak in the sense, do we see suddenly when something wrong is happening, immediately Vishwarupa coming to the front and everything changing? No, isn't it? We see what is happening. Why? What are these rules of Prakriti? We sometimes even wonder what's the purpose. Even a young Vivekananda had asked, Agar tum ho to ye kyun hai? Why is all of this suffering there if you are there? He saw in the famines in Bengal, his own brethren suffering. He said, where is this all-powerful God when this is happening? What happens? So this is one. The one who has experienced is experiencing all of this there in that level of consciousness, it is actually very different. But how can anybody even, can we even think of such a God to be compassionate, who is not having any feeling for our pains and sufferings? Can we feel that God is compassionate? Anybody? From our perspective, from our human perspective, a lot of people have that argument. Yes, Swetaji.
He is, if we have faith and if we
Okay. So if we
surrender and
have faith, he will get satisfied and then he will be compassionate.
we hope. I mean, it's the best form of having hope.
All right. Okay. So that's a hope we should keep. All right. Yes. Anybody else would like to add?
Think
Yeah.
the way we approach God is what we will see mirrored.
Okay.
So if we feel that our God is compassionate, it is true. If we
Hmm.
feel that He's going to punish us, that is true.
These are
And
individual experiences. What you believe, you become, something like that, isn't it?
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Rashnaji said that. Yes. Okay. Somebody else was adding?
You have to believe in it actually. That
Okay.
whatever it is, whether it's good or bad, I know whatever path you take me into, it will be best for me.
Yeah.
If it's good
Okay.
or bad.
Yeah, okay. So this is what we can say just from our perspective. And for our human perspective, if you look at this point of view, Shraddha, belief, faith is an important aspect. But does the Brahman need to have faith in human beings in this Srishti? No, why I asked is that from that point of consciousness, these are all insignificant, means our little experience. Why did my ice cream fall before I eat? I don't think the Brahman in his Brahmic consciousness will get disturbed because there he is able to see something higher. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna gives a beautiful example about how night of Brahman and a day of Brahman is equal to how many lifetimes. It's equal to so many years. It's equal to a yuga. One night is equal to a yuga. One day is equal to a yuga. Somebody says, I can't even calculate what a yuga is. And you are telling me one Brahman's day is equal. So many lives are born, so many lives are destroyed. I can't even understand what this is. But if you look at rainy season and you keep the window open, what happens? Insects come in or not in the rainy season, especially in the evenings. And then what happens there? All the insects, don't they die? They die in such a short time. And how many of us mourn the loss of those insects? What a Narasamhar happened in my house. I'm going to observe 1 week, one entire week of silence for the dead insects. Nobody, isn't it? Now, here in the village, I was very surprised in the factory because the people from the women staff, no, who work here, they started collecting the insects. I didn't understand. What are you going to do? They said they make a very nice pickle. That really blew my head. How? But that is their perspective again. But can we say all of these are heartless, cruel people who don't care for lives? No. Just the significance is not there in our busy life. We have so many things. These insects coming and going, we don't even, only thing we feel bad is, oh, I have to now clean this place. That is all the thought that comes. Beyond that, it does not. But that doesn't make us heartless, isn't it? It's just like that from the Brahmic consciousness also. All these moments are ananda. Maybe I am falling down and I am crying and I'm shouting at the Brahman only because I've fallen down. But the Brahman there is understanding, yeah, this fellow is going to fall 4 more times. And then you watch how he is going to rise after the 4 falls. They are able to see the perspective is different. So that is why that state is always in Ananda. And this is how the Purusha and Prakriti's game is at play. Unless we realize it, we can't be free. If we don't realize it, we are trapped in Maya. Just let us look at some more. If you see the 13th Adhyaya of the Gita, which talks about the Kshetra and the Kshetrajna, just let us look at some verses before we enter into the next part. कार्य कारण कर्तृत्वे हेतु प्रकृतिरुच्यते पुरुषः सुख दुःखानां भोक्तृत्वे हेतुरुच्यते. The domino of cause and effect is her procreation, the experiences of individual consciousness, her creation, and the one supreme being, the Purusha, does but enjoy, experiencing both pleasure and pain with joy. This is our Bholoka. This is what happens. This domino, cause and effect, Karya and the Karana. This happened because of this X, Y, Z. This entire aspect, there's a game going on created by Prakriti. And because of Prakriti, we are all having a feeling of individual consciousness. It is the Ahankar. Ahankar also is planted in us by default. It's like somebody has factory setting installed. Mana, Buddhi, Ahankar along with our Indriyas. In the Gita, it is said the Pancha Jnanendriyas, Pancha Karmendriyas, Mana, Buddhi, Ahankar, and then there is something which is a phantom light called Avyakta, the unmanifest. That is why the unmanifest has to be manifested. That is why great yogis like Maharshi Sri Aurobindo and the mother, they spent so many years of their sadhana to bring about that manifestation, to manifest that light of the divine. But we all feel, no, my experience is different. Well, that is also a feeling brought about by Prakriti only. That's domino of cause and effect. And what does the Purusha do? He experiences both pleasure and pain with joy. Just imagine watching a lion in the jungle, sitting and yawning. Lioness is going doing all the hunting, but this lion is there. He has a role. He will enter, he will do his work when it requires. But otherwise, he is there. Or like how Vishnu is on his Sheshanaga in his beautiful laya of Ananda only. Like that, the Purusha is experiencing everything as Ananda. It does not, it's like how we say white light splits into several colors, isn't it? And then when these colors merge together, what happens? Each different color ultimately becomes white light only if you merge them all together. So there it is only Ananda. That is the Ananda of the Purusha. Let's go on further. Purusha Prakriti Sthohi Bhumte Prakriti Jan Gunan Karanam Guna Sangosya Sadasad Yoni Janmasu. Immersed in her qualities, he presides. Experiencing her nature, he resides. His attachment to Prakriti is the sole cause of all births in the mortal wombs of sin and good that he draws. Let us just go further. Upadrashtanumanta cha bharta bhokta maheshwaraha paramatmeti chapyukto dehesmin purushaha para. Situated within this physical envelope mortal, he is the one supreme, indwelling Lord immortal. He is the witness, observer, and giver of consents. Nature's modes he enjoys, upholds, and augments. So, this Purusha and Prakriti, this game we must understand, this game of what the Jiva is playing, Sri Aurobindo introduced, isn't it? The Jiva has been sent into every living being for participating in this game, which Krishna, or Sri Aurobindo called it, the Leela of Krishna, a Krida, a game which is at play. We have to become conscious, active participants. Means the difference between player and the played. The player is able to take part, but the played is just like a ping pong ball moved around by the forces. All the forces are at play, and you are just a weak instrument, not the instrument of the divine. You are an instrument of all of these forces. There are divine forces, there are undivine forces, there are forces which are Devi and Asuri, constructive and destructive, progressive and regressive. At all points, these forces are at play. And what are we aligning with? That question, we cannot blame the world, we cannot blame Purusha, we cannot blame Prakriti. We have to look, the onus comes on to us. So that is where we have to understand. But for that, becoming conscious is important, because unless you become conscious, you will not be able to become free. That is why Krishna gives this knowledge in the middle of a battlefield. Somebody would wonder, why is he giving philosophy right now? Why should I have this? But that is the place where sometimes philosophy plays a very important role for directing the actions. The great realization comes, and then that is how Jai Bhavani, they say and they run, isn't it? Irrespective of who is there. Where are they? They are connected now with a higher force, with higher consciousness. So, this aspect we must fully realize, because with this, we'll just conclude the Gita's verse 23 of the 13th Adhyay. Ya evam vetti purusham prakritim cha gunaihi saha sarvatha vartamanopi nasa bhuyo vijayate. He who knows and realizes the duality of the Supreme Purusha and Prakriti's every quality, his way of living or actions notwithstanding, that being certainly finds release from rebirth's bonding. Such a person, just recognizing, becoming conscious, will allow you to become mukta. This is real liberation, isn't it? Liberation does not mean running away from challenges. Instead, liberation means not getting trapped in the, what we can say, that in the action and reaction, isn't it? You are conscious, so now the forces will not work. No matter, everybody around you might be trying to pressurize you. Everybody might be trying to say you are the worst person on earth. You are not having any good quality. X, Y, Z, you have not achieved enough. All these things keep coming into play, different. That will not make any difference when you have suddenly realized that. And this is just the game of forces that is played. So this is important to understand when we enter into what Sri Aurobindo is talking about, the game, the krida. And here we enter into what is the fourth moment. The fourth moment is actually very interesting because we see a direct Adesh of whom? Of Maharishi Arvind himself. Somebody who has, if anybody has read any of his correspondences with Sri Aurobindo or the evening talks, or anybody is there who has read Sri Aurobindo's talks? Anyone? Yes, sir. Sir, in those talks also, we don't see Sri Aurobindo giving orders, no, sir?
Not at all. As if he is participating in the talk.
He is like participating, isn't
Yeah.
it? The Dr. Nirodharan has made a lot of humorous jokes. He questions.
Yeah.
He tells you are not the avatar, or your avatarhood is not powerful enough.
Yes.
All these questions he asks, and he takes it with humor. And when it's not like it is very rare to see Sri Aurobindo giving a direct, instruction. Or so here in this beautiful, the last part of what we call the fourth moment, we can see a last part where we can, again, it's very different. The way he gives the Adesha also, it's not like I order everybody. He uses the word Bhagavat Adishta. With the Adhikar of the Adesh from the divine, I am passing on this message. Like how these Nath Sampradayas, yogis, how they chant, isn't it? Alak, Niranjan, and Adesh. That is followed after that. So that is what we call the fourth moment. So let us see. Now, who can give an Adesh? Tell me, anybody? Who has
Who
that
has the
authority?
power or authority? Yeah.
Who has the power and authority, isn't it?
And knowledge.
Okay, who
Or
has the knowledge? Yes. In Sanskrit, there is a word for this. It's called adhikara. Who has that adhikara? There are different, means we can say for adhikara in Mimamsa philosophy, there's a different ways you can make a statement. There are different ways, like one person who has got this experience, that person who has got direct experience is considered to be most important, because that is like in terms of pramana or evidence is called a pratyaksha. There's a pratyaksha pramana, which is considered to be the highest. Means I have got that realization, and that anubhuti is something which is different from understanding. Anubhuti is very different from understanding, because understanding is according to my mind. I understand this to be this, but I have experience. Best example I can think of is when I was young, when Bhaiya told me, he told me, touch fire. I was foolish. I went and touched fire, and burnt my hand. Then I cried a lot. But that was my anubhuti, isn't it? It was a direct experience. So that becomes a pramana. So there are different pramanas, and here we can say Sri Aurobindo's pramana, whichever way you look at it. Somebody says, okay, I don't believe in his pratyaksha. Then there is another type of pramana which is called anumana, which is by inference. I can give. So that also Sri Aurobindo gives us. He says, by this, he has given inferences, examples. You can try to understand through inference. Yes, he is adhikari even by that. Or there's arthapatti also, which means by, what is the available evidences. Case 1, case 2, case 3, keeping all 1, 2, 3, 4, he can give a conclusion. Then another is anupalabdhi, not this, not this. If this does not work, then this, not this, not this. And finally, you keep eliminating what is wrong. And that way also, if you read Sri Aurobindo's extensive, you know, extensive writing, which is all divine, directly from experience, that also you can understand he is the right adhikari to give a message to the world. And the last is also called Shabda Pramana. Like my mother tells me I'm your mother to me. That is all. I will not say show me DNA certificate, isn't it? She'll give me a slap, might be another direct consequence of this question. But this aspect, it becomes a shabda, meaning the person who has lived the life according to a particular way. Means Krishna was also called Shabda Pramana. Whatever word Krishna says, it automatically became truth. Means became truth in the sense it was truth. It was considered as a valid. So Sri Aurobindo also is that adhikari to give any adesh to everybody. That is important to look at because immediately who is Sri Aurobindo? What is it? People who don't know try to ask such silly questions. If you want to know who Sri Aurobindo is, don't try to read his writing because it may take 10 words to understand what he has written. But instead, look at the life that he has lived. Look at all of it. Look at each and everything. You will understand any of the pramanas. You either believe the pratyaksha, believe the anumana, believe the arthavati, believe the anupalabdhi, or believe shabda pramana. Any one you can hold on, whichever connects to your heart, and you will see, yes, that is right. Because it is something like in now, if you see, Gita tells no that it is a very rare experience. Vasudevam Sarvamiti, because in that experience of divine everywhere, to visualize and perceive with the mortal eyes. Means there's a shloka in the seventh adhyaya of the Gita. It says, Bahunam Janmanam Ante Jnanavan Ma Prapadyate Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sudurlabham. So Mahatma Sudurlabha, who can see Vasudevam everywhere. Means this meaning of this shlok itself means after many successive births can this fortune arise when the divine is perceived through the mortal eyes. Very rare and blessed indeed is that seeking soul that experiences the divine omniscience as a whole. Meaning, Sri Krishna says it is such a rare experience. A rare experience for a soul to visualize that divinity everywhere. And this rare experience does not come just like that. It comes after successive births of maybe so many sadhanas. And if you look at sharing those experience in Alipur jail, what did he get that experience? It was the same, isn't it? It was that same experience of Vasudevam Sarvamiti, where he saw. Where did he see? He saw everywhere. In the grating, that coarse blanket, suddenly he could see Madhava hugging him. Whatever rug that they had given to him. 6 by 9 feet, people will, in a prison which is in solitary confinement, people will grow mad. But here, a realization is happening. It was said some of the experiences, lived experiences of the centuries there. Some of them had told that they were afraid to go toward their near that place because they had got all different experiences. Who knows? They might have seen him levitating also. I don't know what was the experience that was seen there. But that is the experience, that is the anubhuti. And that is why we can very safely and very clearly say yes. Yes, that is why he is the adhikari for giving an adesh. Definitely. Means just one thing. Means if you quote even Sri Aurobindo's own words about that experience, means he got that experience. He had asked Krishna for it, and he got it. He said, then in the seclusion of the jail, of the solitary cell, I asked for it again. I said, give me thy Adesh. I do not know what work to do or how to do it. Give me a message. In the communion of yoga, two messages came. The first message said, I have given you a work, and it is to help to uplift this nation. Before long, the time will come when you will have to go out of jail, for it is not my will that this time either you should be convicted or that you should pass the time as others have to do in suffering for their country. I have called you to work, and that is the Adesh for which you have asked. I give you the Adesh to go forth and do my work. This was Krishna's words that Sri Aurobindo got, and that is where an interesting turn took place. It was a very big turn which many did not understand. Even great freedom fighters suddenly were surprised. What is this? Why has he withdrawn? Why has he gone to Pondicherry? What is the meaning? Then some people say, no, no, it was because of political reasons. For political reasons, he went and went and to Pondicherry of all the places. It was just as what we can say a fishing hamlet, and it was hardly anything there when he came. And there he did sadhana, intense sadhana that for so many years, more than 17 years, he did not come out of a room. Why would he have to do that if it's just for nothing? But no, if you look at the sequence of events, he went there for doing the next part of sadhana, which was again in the direction of the divine. So with this, let us look at the final part of this Upanishad. अज्ञानं मूलमेतस्य भावस्य शान्त एवहम् अहमशक्तो दुर्बलो दुःखी मया कर्तव्यं ज्ञातव्यं लब्धव्यं प्रयासेन तपक्षयेन मृत्युना स त्वमेषोऽहं यत्त्वं न तदहं यत्तव शुभं तन्मामशुभं येन तव लभस्तेन मम हानिः त्वामेव हन्यां सुखी भविष्यामि नैव सात्विकोऽहं त्वामेव सुखिनं करोमि स्वदुःखेन स्वहान्या समृत्युनेत्याद्य अज्ञानस्य स्वरूपं मनसि अहंकार एव बीजम् अहंकार मोक्षदज्ञानमोक्षः अज्ञानमोक्षात् दुःखान्मुच्यत आनन्दमयोऽहं सोऽहम् एकोऽहम् अनन्तोऽहम् सर्वोऽहमिति विज्ञायानन्दमयो भव त्यानन्दो भवति. So this is the feeling which comes from ajnana, which comes from the ignorance. What is it? I am depressed, weak, and with much limitation. Ignorance is the root cause of this misconception. Through actions, I have to toil, exert, and perform, as only to a perishable mortal nature do I conform. He and I, we aren't one. I am not he. This is my nature. He and I can never same be. Whatever is good for him is to me bad. He has only rejoiced and gained in every failure that I had. In his destruction alone is my joy and emancipation. In my death and my sorrow is his celebration. And other similar pejorative thoughts you will find when ignorance takes control of the mind. Ego is the root cause Ego is the root cause and also the seed which causes ignorance to surface and lead. When from ego the being finds release, ignorance too, in all forms, begins to cease. And when the being is rid of ignorance, from all sorrows one gains deliverance. I am the embodiment of divine, of bliss divine. I am that, the one and infinite, in all that is fine. When by the Jiva this knowledge is attained, a life of unending bliss is forever gained. This is moksha, the final liberation. Thus liberated, the being enjoys the state of salvation. In all experiences, he realizes a bliss infinite, relishing the finite in the infinite and the infinite in the finite. Despite being one, many forms he assumes and takes, though himself birthless, in innumerable births he partakes. Becoming all, the fulfillment of countless births he attains, and yet his birthless original nature still remains. I'll just read it out once more. So here, Shriyarinda is giving us the perspective of whom? Of the one who is drenched in both ignorance and ahankar. How does the mind, which is drenched in ahankar or ignorance, perceive? It distorts the truth. And that distortion is visualized this way. I am depressed, weak, and with limitation. This is the first one. I am depressed, weak, and with much limitation. Ignorance is the root cause of this misconception. Through actions, I have to toil, exert, and perform. As only to a perishable nature do I conform. See, I am only perishable. Don't talk all this Brahman or higher truth. Look at me. I am limited. What is there? What is there beyond me? Nothing. This kind of approach is basically just a distortion of the truth, driven by one's personal egos only, unfortunately. That is the root cause. Clearly, it's like a beautiful diagnosis. When you feel like that, why me? This question comes, isn't it? Many times. What did I do wrong? But some of the greatest heroes, greatest victors, greatest champions, they don't complain. They don't complain. Instead, they, in weakness, physical weakness, mental weakness, emotional weakness, suddenly they find strength. Where does that strength come from? It comes from the divine. But unless you recognize, unless you realize the need to connect with the divine in your everyday lives, you will not be experiencing it. You will be driven by this approach, which will again make you go weaker and weaker, isn't it? What strength can come out of this? Nothing. So that is why it is essential to realize it. He and I, we aren't one. I am not he. No, there cannot be. I remember when Shivoham first time I heard Katham. What? Shivoham? This, how? What is it? In that time, I thought there was no Himalaya and all in Pondicherry. I cannot leave this city. I thought the highest I can go to sit in a higher place of meditation was I tried to sit on the wall of a compound, wall of a park. So I sat there and I was thinking of Shivoham. Within 2 minutes, a security guard came with a stick and he got me down. I was so disturbed. It's like, what? What is this? I'm thinking of Shivoham and this man is bringing me to the ground. What had happened was, he didn't hit me, but my ego got pricked so badly that my heart hurt because of that only. So that ahankar, no, that ahankar is the source of all the troubles everywhere. Beautiful relationship. It can become even more beautiful when ahankar is removed. But no, separation comes in because of that only. The most beautiful, happy moments in life can come when there is no ahankar in between two people. Unfortunately, because of Prakriti, because of nature, because of this Maya, it is present everywhere. And this is the bija, this is the seed for which is sprouting all the sorrows. And the difference between the divine. He and I, we aren't one. I am not he. This is my nature. I will not change. Don't ask me to change my nature. This is like this. I have been born this way, I will live this way, this is my entire life which will proceed. This is the approach which brings sorrow. Whatever is good for him is to me bad. Meaning somebody gets angry, with the divine. No, 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 now we will not worship the divine at all in the house. Enough. See, he has not done what I wanted. He is not conforming to the T and C. Terms and conditions are not being met. So now I am not going to worship. People change gods, people change gurus, people change even their dharmas because I didn't get good returns from here. But that is not at all the approach which should be of an Adhyatmic person. He has only rejoiced and gained in every failure that I had. This is again, it's a kind of a psychosis which takes us in a different direction. See, God is getting happy in my suffering. Yeah, right. From Brahma Loka or from that Vishnu Loka, he is saying, oh, no, no, this person should be made fun of by another person, and the divine is going to laugh. But this person's imagination of Ahankar is always going to twist everything, assuming that the divine is going to experience joy in troubling us. That is again a distortion. In his destruction alone is my joy and emancipation. This is one dangerous aspect. This is what we call Hiranyakashipu syndrome. God has to, in destruction of God only. Can man try to destroy God? No. But here it's a what we can say. They go. One person after a Gita Varga, he called me with full of guilt. He said, I broke a murti of Krishna. Now what will happen? I said, you have said you have broken a murti in anger, isn't it? If Vishwarupa was standing frozen, can you hear me? Yeah. All right. So yes, this. So I said that was wrong. What you did. If you are feeling guilty, that's fine. It's good you are feeling guilty. Feels. Don't worry, but don't think you have destroyed God. You have not. You're not so strong or powerful enough. So, but that was a moment of anger, and when the anger left, his ignorance also left, and then he regretted his action. But most of the time, it is in ignorance that such thoughts come in. That God is enjoying from my suffering. So destruction of the divine's wish only will give me happiness. It does not give anybody happiness. But that's another path which people walk in. Or in my death and sorrow is a celebration. Now God will get happy if I get destroyed. This is another type of a dire ego only which comes in. And all these thoughts you will find when ignorance takes control of the mind. It is just ego which is the root cause and seed which causes this ignorance to surface. But what happens when this ego is lost? Then comes the beautiful experience. And when does anybody can you share when does the ego disappear or when is the ego lost? One simple way.
It,
Uh,
it transmutes into love, I guess, into
Beautifully said.
Ananda.
Yeah, yeah, beautiful, isn't it? When love is there, it is going to just transcend everything, isn't it? Okay, all right, everything is fine in the name of love. This love can be translated into a surrender to the divine also. When you surrender to the divine, then you are willing to, okay, I love the divine unconditionally. Whether or not he gives me my promotion, it's okay. I will not stop loving him because I didn't get what I wanted. Today, I did not get this particular dish. It will not make a difference with the relation with the divine. So, this unconditional love, because love is unconditional in its essence, isn't it? Or is it conditional?
uh,
Yes,
if I
Rachna
may
ji, yes, please.
say, the wave realizes that it is
Hmm.
indeed the ocean.
Yeah. Ha. Yes, yes,
So
yes.
then there is no question of having unconditional love. Everything that
Mhm.
is happening to me. So,
Ha.
what is there to love anything or anybody or even God?
Okay. Yeah. So Advaita Sthiti, that
In that
place where
realization
oneness
that,
is there. I am no more separated from the divine.
so I'm happy,
Mm.
whatever is happening, I'm happy.
Yes. Okay, that's a beautiful aspect. Yes, so it does not, then there's no difference Whether that person is with you, is not, or whether the divine's presence you are feeling or not, you don't have to worry about it. Divine is there. I am connected integrally with the divine. And that actually answers all the questions. You don't have to worry. Otherwise, people have 100,000 worries. They say, Asha Pasha Shatair Baddhaha. This is a trap of so many, 100. The Kathopanishad adds one more. It says 101 traps. In the Gita, you see 100. But what are these 100 bonds? 100 bonds of desire. Sometimes on spirituality also. Is my sadhana going in the right direction? Divine, you have surrendered. That responsibility in headache is the divine. And don't worry about whether it will cause headache. Divine has so many heads. Sastra, Shirsha, Purusha, we can say it. So let that aspect also means the mother had asked about surrendering also expectations that your sadhana must go in a particular direction. We all have a rigid thought. Like when we play games, level 1, level 2, level 3. Same way, our sadhana must also proceed according to that particular way we feel. But Mother says, no, surrender that also. That also has to be surrendered to the divine. And you are free, like how Rachna ji just shared about this becoming one. The drop is recognizing it has become the ocean, or the wave has recognized it's no more separate. It is something like that. And then comes the Ananda. Means again, Tukaram's one, I think there's this verse, somebody from Maharashtra is there, they can correct me if it is not, but Brahmananda lagli tari kona dehate sambhari, means I've got that Brahmananda. And that Brahmananda is, I've touched it, now it's everywhere, it is that only. Who is going to, now everything else can be forgotten. So it is like that. The jiva is freed from the outer bonds, then that person becomes free, and this is, Sri Aurobindo says, this is the moksha. This is the moksha, the final liberation. Gita also talks about a liberation which is terrestrial, ihaiva. Sri Aurobindo talks about that. We're not looking at another world in another place, another loka. It is here. We have to become free now. If we don't become free now, how are we going to become free later? The freedom has to be got now, at this time, at this moment. And it can happen. We don't have to wait. We don't have to wait. We can actually liberate ourselves with the divine's grace. For that, surrender is required. So let's just continue. This freedom is the moksha. एष एव मोक्षः समुक्तः सर्वेषां भोगान्. One second. Yes. स मुक्तः सर्वेषां भोगान् भुङ्क्ते सर्वानन्दा. One second, my screen is frozen. Just a moment. Sorry for the interruption. Yeah. एष एव मोक्षः स मुक्तः सर्वेषां भोगान् भुङ्क्ते सर्वानन्दानन्दं भुञ्जानो न शान्तैर्वियुज्यते शान्तानि भुञ्जानो नानन्तेन हीयते स एको भवति बहुर्भवति सह्यजो जायत इव जायमानोऽपि न जायते न बध्यते न जन्म तस्य विद्यते आत्मन्यात्मात्मना प्रकाशायाम् आत्मानमिते ज्ञानाद् विमुक्तः क्रीडते लीलार्थं हि जगदानन्दार्थं लीलामय इति लीलां कुरुतानन्दस्य पुत्राः मुक्ताः क्रीडतानन्दम् भुङ्क्तैकं भोग्यं भगवन्तं प्राप्य भुङ्क्त सर्ववस्तुषु आनन्दं हि प्रवक्ष्यामि भगवतादिष्टः तामसम् अपावृत्यानन्दः प्रकाशतां तस्य पुत्राः. This is the last line which he says, Anandam hi pravakshami bhagavatadishtaha. tamasam apavrityananda prakashitam tasya putraha. It's here we see that Adesh of Sri Aurobindo. He is unborn. He is unborn and cannot be bound. His self illumines himself, spreading the light around. In the illumined consciousness, he forever stays. With this detached knowledge, he freely participates and plays. This world is not but his play divine, his Leela, created to enjoy all that is fine. O children divine, in this joyous play partake, the bliss of creation, enjoy, experience and take. Unite with him, seeing him in all become one. Celebrate this bliss highest, that is comparable to none. Under the command celestial, I verily pronounce the way to blissful consciousness. I thus announce, O children of bliss, harbingers of his celestial light, removing darkness with his bliss divine, set the world alight. Once more, we just look at this. He is the unborn, and he cannot be bound. His self illumines himself, spreading the light around. In this illumined consciousness, he forever stays. With this detached knowledge, he participates and plays. This world is not but his play divine, his Leela, created to enjoy all that is fine. O children divine, in this joyous play partake the bliss of creation, enjoy, experience, and take. Unite with him, seeing him in all become one. Celebrate this bliss highest, that is comparable to none. Under the command celestial, I verily pronounce the way to the blissful consciousness. I thus announce. O children of bliss, harbingers of his celestial light, removing darkness with his bliss divine, set the world alight. So, this is what we call the final part of this Upanishad, where there is this message. This is a message for the entire world to all seekers of light. It is this that this is what we can say a divine father would want, isn't it, from the children? Will the divine father say, "No, I have reached this state, you must come to a state little bit less than me"? Or will he aspire that take this, use this platform and rise in experience? That is exactly why Sri Aurobindo also did his yoga, the way of supramental manifestation. What was that purpose for everybody? It was like he suffered so much, he toiled so much that even now people don't realize what is it that he has done. Very few. Even that time when that experience was got, when that not everybody, so many had come specifically for that purpose in the ashram, and yet all did not get the experience. Only a few, handful, because that is the very rare to get that experience. But the path has been laid. The path is laid for whom? For everybody to walk. A sunlit path has been put for every single seeker who is willing to walk that path. And that message is so clear. With such humility, he says, Bhagavat Adishta. I'm not just giving you simply a message because I have got this Adesh of the divine. Under that Adesh, I give you this message. So we just look at it. First thing is, you see this, when the moksha is got, which is the moksha? The moksha is that you are free. If you realize that, you have experienced that. Esha moksha is what Sri Aurobindo says. What is that moksha? That I am free. If you realize that right now, no other bandhana will come. Many times in life, we don't realize we are free. When will we realize it? When we hold on to something, we hold on to the higher consciousness. We hold on with full sincerity. That time you will see, I cannot trouble this. Nothing in the world can trouble me anymore. Nobody can bind me. No force can stop me. But for that, you have to be willing to let go of everything and surrender completely. Not with terms and conditions. If you do like this, then I hold on to you. If this happens, what I want, I like this only to happen, then only I will surrender. That's not surrender. It's like a transactional view, isn't it? That if this happens, then this will. It is something, surrender is always absolutely without anything in return. And here, that when you realize this itself, that you are one with that divine, that difference, that Bheda is gone, what is going to happen then? Then this suffering, this sorrow which is there, meaning all the other pains on the outside, they start appearing less significant. They no more trouble you. And in that, you start experiencing the bliss, the ananda. You experience the finite in the infinite in the finite. You see that one divine has now manifested in so many different ways. When I was in school, there was a beautiful poem, all things bright and beautiful, all creatures great and small, all things wise and wonderful, that Lord God has made them all, that one divine has made everything, big, small, even the annoying ones have been created by the divine only. You are able to get that perspective. You can say, okay, right. Fine. So this is also, if you can understand that, you can learn from the people who are there. Sometimes they have taken it as a mission to trouble you and not teach you anything, but still you can learn what not to do from them. It is your perspective which has to change. Because if that is got, we can get really free. So this, what happens is then you slowly, because the higher consciousness will come only, which is at a level which is beyond the mind. Real yoga of Sri Aurobindo starts after transcending the mind only. Until then, it's all what we can say. Sri Aurobindo would also call mental gymnastics. You go this way, tarka, this act, this logic is countered by another rational logic, and it goes on like a maya only, it will never end. People will sit doing debates for years without getting any realization. But for that transcendence, yes, Rachna ji wants to add something?
Yes, I'm just remembering one thing from Vivekananda and Ramakrishna Paramahamsa's
Ji,
Samvad, where
yes, ji.
Vivekananda is questioning everything, and Ramakrishna Paramahamsa is trying to explain, but he doesn't use words. So he
Hmm.
gives him a task. He says, okay,
Hmm.
pick up that book, and it's like a booklet, and he says, read it out. So there's statistics in that which contain the rain, basically rain statistics of that, of the last few years or whatever.
Hmm.
I don't remember exactly, but there
Okay,
is
okay.
basically statistics of the rainfall.
Hmm.
So Vivekananda is puzzled, but he does read out the entire thing. So at the end of it, after reading out, he doesn't know the purpose. And Ramakrishna Paramahansa says, now you take the book. Now that you've finished reading it, just take the book and ring it. So he says,
Hmm.
yes, I haven't heard that right. He says, take the book and ring it
Okay.
like a cloth. Ring it.
Ha, ha, ha.
So
Okay.
he just follows the Adesh and he tries to ring it. Uh, he's not able to understand. But then
Yeah.
he said, did any rain fall out of this?
Okay. Yeah.
This is not how it happens. If you read, you can read as much as you want, but experiencing rain is something else. You cannot get it from just books. So, like even the Praman that you were saying
Ji.
initially, it is the same thing. Like we can read or think, do as much as we want, mental gymnastics, or even
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
everything from everywhere. But the anubhuti of rain is different.
Yes. 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 Absolutely.
Does not
Well,
come
that
from any statistics for as long as you know. Like
absolutely beautifully said,
rain
Rachna ji.
never started.
That is why they say Sri Aurobindo cannot be read by the mind. With your mind or intellectual prowess, wisest of wise PhD, that person may have photographic memory, may be knowing all the philosophies, but still that person will not understand the essence until his heart reads what Sri Aurobindo has written. And when the heart reads, then it is absolutely different. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You were adding something.
I just wanted to add, Sri Aurobindo has also mentioned,
Ji.
adding to what she mentioned,
Yes.
that there are 4 methods by which nature can advance. Our nature can advance.
Ji sir.
And they are religion, occultism, spiritual philosophy, and last and finally, spiritual experience.
Experience, yes.
So all these 4 methods our nature requires
Ji,
to contribute to a certain extent, and finally it is only experience.
it is experience in the end.
Yes, yes, yes.
Absolutely. That experience makes a lot of difference.
That
Sherwin
is,
also got that experience only in the jail. He got
yes,
the science of
yes,
philology directly from Krishna. People were surprised. How? Where? Sanskrit Vyakarana? Where has he read Yaska? Where has he read all Nirukta? What is it? How can he give commentary? Even today, people, Sanskrit scholars who have got PhDs and gold medals, try to challenge Sherwin those interpretation, and yet they try to take only one verse. Because if they try to, you can't wrestle with all. The volume is too much, and there is
yes,
no mistake there. Yet they try to say he made a mistake by misquoting some portion. Yet they fall apart when they look at it in the whole overall. What is the
overall perspective.
yes, yes, the overall perspective is important. So this is important, and this is the one which Shervindu is asking. It can be a joyous way. It can, when the anubhuti comes, the experience means it's fun, isn't it? When you learn more in the state of ananda only, isn't it? When you start enjoying it. So that is why, because the spiritual path is not the path which has to make a person dry, which has to make a person lose what is humor. The person has to say, oh, I'm on a spiritual path. Maybe I should have little wrinkles on my forehead. Then that will indicate I am on a spiritual path. These are all not required because this is Ananda. The experience of Ananda must be got, not read or written. It's like people sometimes conduct workshops on Ananda or sometimes workshops on pain. So, how will you a workshop on pain? One of the ways probably is by giving a very high fee for that workshop. Then every participant can experience the pain. But this aspect is until it is experienced. And if you can participate, I mean, it's like you just watch a game from outside, your friends are all playing. You feel bored. Why did I not be in the game, or why did nobody call me? Well, in life's game, nobody is going to call us. We'll have to quickly go and hold on to the divine and then participate because it is road is open for everyone. And Shervindo says that this is the game of the divine. It is just a leela. The leela is that which can be enjoyed. Maya is there, that which confuses you and makes you in trouble. It's so simple. If you are frustrated, confused, disturbed, weak, not able to understand it's either ahankar attaching you to Maya and you're not able to see the truth. But instead, when you become calm and you start enjoying little things, you might be laughing with yourself. Nobody has cracked a joke, and yet you are able to experience the joy of the divine. That is the Ananda. And that is why Sri Aurobindo also says that. He says, oh, children divine, meaning he's called everybody the children of the divine, meaning, will children of divine be asuras? They are also divine only. It is in that state. So, children divine, recognize that. In this joyous play, partake the bliss of creation. Enjoy, experience, and take. Unite with Him. Seeing Him in all, become one. Celebrate the bliss highest that is comparable to none. Means celebrate this life. Recognize that beautiful miracle of life, which is something which we are all living. Unless we experience it, unless we celebrate, we are not going ahead on the path at all. That ananda must be there and it must keep growing. And here comes that last message which we'll look at today. And then we will stop, but we'll have one more session where we will have a recap as well as look at its practical implication of these aphorisms of Sri Aurobindo in Sanskrit, which has been called a Sri Aurobindo Upanishad. So here, what is the last part, which is that way? He says this is the way for blissful consciousness. Means the way to experience the Ananda. O children of bliss, harbingers of his celestial light, removing darkness with his bliss divine, set the world alight. Means let your every karma, let your every action be towards that light, towards the spreading of the light, spreading of the divine consciousness. We don't know how many moments we have on earth, isn't it? But We know how we can live those moments because that is in our hand. We can. I have a friend who said, I'm thankful to God for the cancer, for acute myeloid leukemia, third stage. I raised my hands. This is the greatest person who can say thank you for this. How can somebody find Ananda in physical pain at a very young age? My own classmate, whose entire life is ahead. How can they? But that is the person who has recognized the way. And then what happens? Every moment becomes a precious moment. And that is exactly what the divine is. What means even Krishna in the Gita tells what? Take this message, take this message. Why? Not that it will increase brownie points for you or increase follower count for the divine, as if there's a in divine social media handle which each god is showing I have these many followers. Nobody's caring about it. It's for the liberation. No? It is for experiencing. Somebody who is free can free, isn't it? Can I, by sitting and crying, can I wipe somebody else's tears? Maximum I can give company. Let's both cry till our tears are exhausted. But I cannot solve the problem. If I am troubled by something, something is hurting me, first thing I'll have to do is come out of that emotional state, rise in consciousness, and best part is experience the game. Because when you experience, you are going to get the support. You are going to get the, what we can say, the force will work with you. Aadhar is ready. Why not? Why will the divine force not work? Divine force is there and then it becomes joy. Tukaram had said, Jethe zato tethe tu maja sangati. Where I go, there you are my companion. I can see. And I can see how you are leading me, holding my hand like a child is being led by the divine. Like that, the mother will take the means if you surrender to Sri Aurobindo, surrender to Krishna, surrender to your Aradhya, whomever you want, but let that happen and let your action be for spreading. That is the message given by a great yogi. There's no way you can describe him. Just yogi is not enough. We call him poet. Poetry also is something which cannot be quantified, but calling him poet also is not enough. Seer also, we do not know what adjectives to give. But this is one person who has spread light, has spread a way which we can say humanity is yet to understand. But it will be in his direction that humanity will progress. And he has given, after dedicating all his life, he has given this message. So that is something which we should try. So with this, I think today we will conclude. And the last part is the mantra in the start. And what was the two mantras we'll just look at? One is Vasudevam Sutam, Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam, Devaki Paramanandam, Krishna Mande, Jagat Guru. It is one of the stuti of Krishna as the Jagat Guru. He is the source of Ananda for Devaki. And that same joy of Devaki is also the Jagat Guru. So we are praying to Krishna. And the first one is just a mantra in Gayatri Chanda, which is Om Mirara Vindaya Vidmahe Ati Manasaya Dhimahi Tanno Jyoti Prachodayat, meaning the mother and Sri Aurobindo, their sadhana is not different. Many say mother is different, Sri Aurobindo is different, but no, it was like they were one. Together they did, like somebody beautifully expressed that one is manifesting the will of the other. So they can be considered as a dual avatar, maybe together. So Mirara Vindaya Vidmahe Ati Manasaya Dhimahi. Meaning together they did this sadhana of supramental manifestation of the supermind. What is this supermind? That is something which cannot be just said, it has to be reached and experienced. So that let that light inspire us. That is the first one. The second one is there in the book also. It is just Anandamayam Jagadidam Sarvam Parabrahmanam Avartitam Mayapi Parabrahma Prasantasya Santarupinam. We need not dismiss Maya as an illusion. This world is full of Ananda. Anandamayam Jagadidam Sarvam. This entire world. Where does it come from? Parabrahmanam avartitam. Descended from that Parabrahma. In that case, Maya also, which is creation, is also part of Parabrahma. Maya api Parabrahma. Prasantasya Santarupinam, the finite form of the infinite. Maya is also limited in comparison to the infinite, if you look at it. But if you compare it from human side, it's quite challenging in itself. Yes. So with this, we conclude today with the Shanti Mantra. We'll have one final session that is next week on Monday. where we will just look a little bit more on the final moment and then some things what we can take from this message and a little sharing of what we can all direct each other also. We can, whatever anubhuti we all have, we can share because ultimately we are connected by Brahman. We have that same consciousness. So, all right, let us conclude. Hari Om. सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु
Shantu
मा
Mahakashit
कश्चित्
Good
दुःखभाग् भवेत्
Bhagave.
हरि ओम तत्सत् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं पुनर्मिलामः नमस्कारः
No.
thank you sir. Yeah, thank you.
Sushrut ji,
Yes, Ji.
if you don't mind, when is your next Gita class?
It will take some time now, Ji, because of some projects. It is a 40, 50 days are required, so I'm unable to take that out now. So it is there recorded online. I'll try to share it. I'll get it organized on YouTube. It is
Yeah,
there.
yeah, if we can get that.
Yes, Ji. Namaskaram. Thank you. Thank you.
Sushrutji, I
Yes,
have
Ji.
a
Yes,
little
ma'am.
question for you.
Ji.
I don't live in India. I live in UK,
Ji.
and I've requested a family member to get the book for me. That we're following the one you've written. I think on Amazon there is Kindle, but I'm
Yeah.
not that intelligent to work a Kindle on.
Kindle version is, I think, the older version, which may have some mistakes. I think what is there
Yeah.
right now. I'm
Oh,
yet
okay.
to update it for this particular book. It was in 2022, I think I had put it
20,
online.
2015, was it 2015 or 2022? You could be right. I mean, your book, so you're right.
So this one, I think probably it is, I don't know, it may be 2015 also. I think commentary came in 2022. I don't remember. Ji. Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, I'm trying to.
No, I'll send you
Trying,
the PDF. That's no problem. You just drop me
no,
a
I'm
message.
trying to.
That's fine. I'll
No,
send you the. No, it's okay.
looking
Ji.
at
It's
your.
just 50 pages. It hardly qualifies to be a book. It's just a
Oh,
booklet. Written. Yes, Ji. So
it's more
I'll send
pages
it to
than
you.
I've ever written.
Ji. All
So
right. Ji.
I
Yes.
just wanted to ask you: would this be the book? Would it be available on the Amazon or
Yeah, it
not
is. It
really?
is available on Flipkart at the moment in India.
Okay, okay, but not Amazon as in other parts
Some
of the world. I'll look
um,
it
ac-
up.
actually, it will be very, very costly in Amazon USA. It will be 126 rupees in India, but Amazon USA would you will have to add a 10 and multiply into two maybe.
So I think
Yes.
I'll listen to you meanwhile till I get my book sent over
Yeah.
from there.
Yeah, you
Then.
just drop me a message on WhatsApp. I'll send it to you. Ji.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, Ji.
Very kind. Thank you so
Thank you, Ji.
much.
Namaskaram, Ji. Thank you. Thank you.
Namaskar.
We didn't have summary today. Summary.
Okay, okay. I think you could have told that to me. I'm sorry, I overshot the time, and today our admin J is also on. He's on leave, so normally he gives me a reminder, Chaitanya ji. So okay, so what can we do with the summary? When everybody joins, we'll have a summary next class. Yeah. Okay.
In the beginning of